What's up, fam? It's Philosophy Panther, and usually I'm, in the stew, doing what I got to do. But we're gonna do a little midday little clip here because I happen to come. Somebody sent me a link because I like talking about interracial dating and stuff, and as I am in an interracial relationship. My wife is Puerto Rican and Dominican, but I speak on things where I can look at both sides of an argument when it comes to interracial dating and stuff. And so there's this guy, I don't know who you have never seen before, but he seems to be pretty good. He's well spoken. He's like the host of the oksb podcast. And today they were talking about interracial dating. And it started out okay. And in general, I went back to go check some other videos first to see, is he just, rough on niggas? Like, is he tough on black people? Is he biased? And he seemed to be kind of not really. He's just, he's poking. He's like a budding Kevin Samuels, not in the fashion that Kevin Samuels does it, but over the years, people pick and prod and see what lane they want to be in to get fame. And so you'll say some controversial shit, whether you believe it or not. In this case, he might believe it. I don't know. I'm just saying he looks pretty exciting, right? I'm like, okay, this sounds interesting. Let's see what he got to say. And he starts off, there's a sister with locks on the show, and he asked her, who does she gravitate to? She says she mostly gravitates to Hispanic men, or Hispanic people. I don't know if she said men or not, but because I don't want to misspeak. But from there, it just started teetering down. He says his experiences and his small, circumference of his little tiny portion of the world. And you've seen a lot of black guys, he would say that they couldn't pull the bullshit over on the black women, so they would get with white women, and getting with those white women, they get they get the Jordans and the PlayStations, and they get a lot of yes. And in tandem, which seems like he was just catering to that black woman personally, he was saying things of the nature, saying that, black men would say things like, oh, they can't deal with black women because they're so aggressive and harsh. And then the girl goes on to say something to the effect that, they said white girls are more mellow and more accepting of direction and order and stuff like that. And I was like, pause, I'm done. And then I got back on and I finished it. And he had some good points about you Karens out there who feel like just because you own some black dick that you're a civil rights leader. So I'm going to break down a little bit, and I hope he sees this. I really do. Because I don't want to knock his experience of what he saw. I want to ask him a question. The question is, of those black men, how many of them were raised by both parents? Specifically speaking, they had a dad in their lives, not a dad that, stops by and then drops by a pair of Jordans from time to time, an actual father at home. How many of them had that? Okay. I can guarantee you that most of them were raised by their mother. Okay. And a lot of those mothers are very, very overprotective of their sons, and, not really overprotective, but allow their sons to do whatever they want because it's hard to control them once they get to a certain age. Before that age, they're you're just like your father. You're just like this. There's a lot of anger and hate in that family household. Not always, but a good portion of the time. So now you have this boy who doesn't have a male role model to teach him how not to be emotional all the time, and not to be feminine all the time. And now, when I say feminine, I don't mean like flamboyant or gay, but there are some things that are key to that make women great, that make men not so great. Okay? You're looking at these boys who are just trying to get their dick wet. That's it. And I say, boy, you're not a man until you've established your place, your car, you're paying your own bills. You know what I'm saying? You're doing the responsible thing. And sometimes for some that takes up to 25, some it take up to 30, some never grow up. And so that's why I said there's always some grown-ass boys. I want you to think about everything that would occur, okay, In society, black women have had to be strong, and that's something that was passed down from slavery. Even when it came to the pretending of the dumbing down of their sons to keep their sons from being taken from them. Okay? I need you to really think about this. Okay? When that boy gets old enough to look like he can fuck, and sometimes I was 10 years old because, black people were superheroes. We look like that to every cop. Or if he could spell something or say something, he could speak good, it's time to snatch that boy and put him in slavery and sell him to another family. So the mom would purposely make him dumb, purposely just overlook the stupid shit that he does and don't reprimand him to make him a better man. Because, the father's probably already gone. Half the time the father's not there because he's probably hung or on another plantation. This is very important. Meanwhile, the woman would teach her daughters everything she knows so that when she gets taken, she might be taken and put in a place where she's as close to the big house as possible. Now, if you're dark skinned, there's a very high chance you just won't make it to the big house, thus you won't be inside. But there were a few times where they were a little bit brownish, if not dark, and they made it inside based on their skill set, cooking, cleaning, speech, all of that stuff. They wanted to do those things because the men would almost never make it inside the house, especially if they're big and strong as an ox. So they've had to be rude, they had to be disrespectful, they had to be mean and tough, all the way when they let go of when they purposely removed the industrial system out of the inner cities. It made it so that black men at ages 35 to 60 had to go to school to get a piece of paper to feed their family, and if they couldn't, they could always rely on that crack that Ronald Reagan dropped in their neighborhoods. Thus, taking the father away, going to jail, or die in the military with no benefits. Right? There was always an attack on the black male, the masculine male. The one that can teach you when to use your emotions. Okay? I always say this. Women, especially black women, teach their sons how to be emotional, how to let that shit out, how to be, in touch with their feminine side. And the fathers, real men, teach you when to use that skill. You can't use it haphazardly. If someone step on your pumas, you can't just start fighting. That's a female trait. You can't just do that without reason. It's emotional things. And so when you're in that situation, no father, the mom says, you act like your dad, and the sisters all around have been tricked by some other boy, or they listen to their moms and tell them not to be careful around boys. Your self-worth is this small. You think you're literally this small. So you will do anything to feel big. That's why we buy shit that we don't fucking need. Overly expensive shoes, Balenciaga, Balmain. That's why we buy shit to make ourselves feel good, especially black men. Okay? And we don't want to hear any more no's. So if there's a way to get a yes and make ourselves feel special and good, because let's be honest, again, black women were raised to be strong and tough because they had to be. They weren't raised to be girlfriends and wives. And thus not their fault, but a downside. So who are you going to do? You're going to try everything else in the rainbow. Why? Because I'm 35. When I was 16, first time I think 16, I got my meat sucked by this white girl. Yeah, like 16, 15, 16, something like that. This white girl, okay? Man, it was weird. Situation. She got mad at me because she saw me walking with some other girl and then told everybody I had a small pecker, but turned out every other girl who's seen it, kind of embarrassed her. But that's neither here nor there. But it felt great because all the sisters that I was trying to talk to wasn't trying to hear me. They weren't trying to get with the geek that was kind of a jock, that was in band and chorus, that was uber smart. They weren't going for that. Okay, now, I don't blame them now because I understand the concept, but as a boy, young man, as a kid, okay, you don't understand that. And you're like, well, why the fuck doesn't Brittany this girl like me or that girl like me? Why the sisters don't like me? I don't get it. So what happens? That white girl was like, hey, I like you. You're kind of cute. I like that dark skin. Ooh, you like my dark skin? I heard some things about you. Yeah, most of it's true. About 90% of us. I literally, at that age, could just whip my dick out. And that's it. Asian, white, Hispanic, it didn't matter. So yes, especially when it's something so easy, it's just a part of me. All I gotta do is flop it out, and I get attention, and adoration, and love, and I get what I want. Somebody wants to buy me something? Yes. Now, are there ones who take it to an extreme and, fuck every girl they can see and, use up all the white girls and all the Hispanic, are they all buying your shit? Yeah, plenty. Sure, it's like that. But you need to understand the reasoning behind that. Okay? And then you get the stares. He also went on to say that, it was more acceptable. People accepted that shit. No, the fuck they didn't. How you was gonna stop me? The problem is social media is ran by women and gay men. So verbal stuff is what people feel, oh man, they came after me, he attacked me. Because of words, it's got over there fucking white girls. You trying to fuck me? Okay, well, cool, whatever, say what you want. And that's exactly how I did it. In between the black girls that would be like, oh, yo, he's fucking awesome, and, we dated and broke up, whatever. But that's the lifestyle. You didn't stand to sit there to think why this occurred. All you saw was the end game. Okay? And the reason why black men especially black men, get really funky when we see a sister with a white boy is because we look at that white boy and that white boy is like, they hate us, right? Not all of them, but a lot of them we see, they would do this out of spite. They say all black men are horrible, da-da-da-da-da. But not even a few years ago, you weren't trying to fuck with the good black boys, right? Now we're men, and you're saying there's no good men in the world, and now you got a mixed biracial baby from a white boy who don't like you, and a black boy from Tyrone because, you wanted a thug. So there's reasoning behind all of this. And I think if we sit down and have that conversation, I think you'd be a little more educated. And I can't take away from your hot take because, again, it was from your point of view without any extra knowledge. And so I'm here to provide that. Now, was that good? No. It's a horrible setup. Dr. Umar Johnson is one of my favorite people in the world. And I understand why he doesn't respect any black man that doesn't stay with black women. Because other women outside of your race don't understand your struggle to that extent. I want my wife, she's been with me for 10 years and some shit that popped up and she just was not prepared for it. But she's from the streets of Bronx. She's hood. So she's had to deal with some of the same things when it comes to police and other black matters. But she never took it to a point because she was fucking black dick that all of a sudden she was an activist. That was definitely always the white girls. And as I got older, I had to check them. Like, you can't say nigga around me. Don't say that shit. And now you in your feelings because I tell you not to say it. And I tell white girls around me not to this. I don't even fuck with you. You say the N-word, I'm going to try to get my girl cousin to beat your ass. And I got a lot of them. And they shoot. So let's just try to nip that in the bud. Just because you got, you're black by lethal injection doesn't give you the benefits of being black. It's just like that Charlie, whatever the bitch name is, on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? She's famous. She's thin. She's Kyler Jenner-ish in the face. But she stole a lot of content from black creators. And so no one checked her when she said the N-word. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure she does. I'm sure there are black boys who are afraid of black girls because they're so aggressive. Instead of figuring out why, they allow that white girl to say those kind of things. And there's spaces for those black boys, and I address those fuckers all the fucking time. I ain't saying you can't date interracial, but I think you should also nip shit in the bud, set rules and boundaries, and then set a space for understanding. Why did you see black boys? You know how excited I was to feel special? This one girl in middle school paid me $13 every day for like a month. just to look at my meat in the back of class. She was fascinated by it. How would you not want to figure out, like, I wonder what that pussy be like? You know what I'm saying? Like, meanwhile, the black girls in the school wasn't trying to give me time of day. And they were rough. They were tough. Half of them reminded me of my mom because she's very tough and rough. So I was okay with it. But I'm just trying to get you to give me a chance. Man, I'm young and I'm book smart. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? And there are a lot of guys that are like that don't have that self-confidence in them because daddy wasn't there. See me? Dad was there. Dad took me, shook me, and said, nigga, listen, if you ever have an issue, don't forget who the fuck you are. You Scott Lewis Jr. That means you came from me, which means you're going to be better than me. So even no matter who the hell you dating, and I hope it's a sister, and he did say that, you know, whoever it is, be tough. Take it on the chin, keep it moving till you find someone that can bring you peace. Now, if love happens anywhere. Love happens anywhere. That's how I ended up with my wife, Charity. It was just, I'm in a bad place. I'm by myself. I'm doing okay by myself. And then poof, she just dropped out of the sky in my lap and said, hey, I don't like your fucking contacts. Them shits is ugly. I'm like, bitch, who the fuck? You know who the fuck I am? She just happened. I didn't go pursue her. The white girl that I was pursuing at the time loved black men, right? Not my style black men. She liked hood niggas. Well, that's a whole nother story. Had to let that go. The sister that broke up with me right before that put me in that bad place, cheated on me with another black dude. So there's always stories as to why. And instead of just being irate and same thing as I tell the black boys, why are you so angry with black girls? Do you understand the things that they have to go through on a daily basis? Especially if dad and mom isn't there. Okay. And then even more so when dad and mom is there, because now they're empowered and full speak. My sister is one of the strongest women I know. Tough. Had both mom and dad. Look, she can be wrong and dead wrong trying to argue with me and will argue with me knowing I'm right. And I got to go there with her so she would shut the fuck up. That's because she was raised to be tough, not a girlfriend or wife. My dad just happened to be cooler than the other side of the pillow and landed a very firecracker wife who they melted pretty well. You know, anytime he really did get mad, he would just go to the room. And we ain't gonna do this in front of the kids. Go in the room. Go in the room. I hear the drawer slide behind the door. Come on, Matthew. Evan. Come on, let's go outside. Daddy and mom finna fight. I say all of this because I think you really need to understand there's a reasoning behind it. And so when I look at black girls, I don't get instantly. I understand why men get mad at that, but I don't instantly get mad because there are cases where they just dated the wrong series of brothers. And they're just like, yo, fuck this. I'm tired of this shit. But on the flip side, because I tell you, I argue both sides. Who keeps telling you to date the same type of fuck dude? Like, really? You know that, come on, we're humans. We all see the warnings, okay? We all see that, man, this ain't safe. I shouldn't fuck with this dude. Or I shouldn't fuck with this girl, but she fired. And then we end up getting burnt. Sometimes STD-ish burning, literally. But I don't like that attack that he had on black men. I think y'all really need to take a scope and really analyze us and really look and listen to us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get some brothers together, and I'm going to post this. And we're gonna do another podcast. This time I'm gonna be recording on 16 cameras if I have to and figure out all the works. And we're gonna ask the tough questions. We're gonna ask about how easy it was to fuck white girls. How easy it is today. They pretend to be tougher. Again, imitating black women. Same thing gay dudes do. Side note. But we still know that you're not that as tough as a black woman. I love that toughness. The fact that Charity is just as tough as a black woman is what even intrigued me because the girl that I had before was tough. I loved it. I loved every second of it. But because I knew how to keep it cool. I had a father. I know how to keep my cool. You're not going to get under my skin And I know how to shut you up when you're wrong. And I know how to back you up when you're right. And I know when to do it in public, when not to do it, which is in public, and when to do it, which is in private. There's a lot of lessons that you need from a black male role model that a lot of those boys, sir, that you saw, didn't have. I didn't fuck everything that moved. I didn't. Could have. Every once in a while, I'm gonna flip it out just so I could feel special, you know. But I had a loving home, loving family, loving situation. I was a great musician. I was an okay singer. I'm a good football player. I was a great wrestler. I had things going for me. So when people don't have things going for them and they want to feel special, they will do the absolute most. And sometimes that most is the most degrading things, the most disrespectful things, anything society says is wrong. Thus, i.e., OnlyFans. I don't give a fuck that they do it, but let's be real. It's quick buck, and they may not have other things going for them to make that money. I do, so I don't have to. And there's other women that do, so they don't have to. But for the ones who don't have a lot going for them, don't have that special mom or dad, that person in their life to let them feel good, they don't have that constant reminder. Getting quick money for their body, which is, hey, dude, you is acceptable to them, but frowned upon in society. So apply that same concept when it comes to women to those black men, and you'll understand why we went after the white girl who's gonna buy us everything, or the Spanish girl that, make sure I got some food. You know what I'm saying? Like, what happened is, though, is as the generation changed, you started seeing more black girls that were raised to be wives, because those sisters saw and refused to repeat the system over and over. And now you have the ones that are tough when it's time to be tough. Hey, you come here. You got the Claire Huxtables. We have right now, from maybe 10 years ago till now, there are a bunch of Claire Huxtables that won't put up with the bullshit that the young boys, the NBA young boys, are giving them. But they're sweet as candy too. And all these boys need is just someone to teach them how to be gentlemen, and how to be men, and how to be responsible with their seed and shit. So, with that being said, I'm ready. I'm going to put this up, and I hope he gives me a bit of a response. I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything like that. I just think that when he went after, he got brownie. When he went after black men in that case, he got brownie points from the sister. But when he went after the Karens, he got brownie points from me, because I can't stand it. Look, if we fucking, we fucking. You can't say nigga. Don't try to act anything outside of. You know what kind of white girls I used to try to fuck? I ain't fuck with no hood white girls. Valley white girls. The ones that were scared to say the N-word. The ones that, Scott, I didn't know you were like that. That type of shit. Didn't know that I had a little hood in me too. Them the ones I went after. They were harmless. Until they, tell somebody that somebody raped them because you don't want to show up and take them somewhere. That's neither here nor there. And it was just the reason why, again, I have a whole another video about when I tell black brothers, boys and men, be careful with these fucking white girls. Because the spectrum goes from fucking Karens who ride black dick, who think they are, to to the white girls who just enjoy, again, black dick. And if you don't give them what they want, they start screaming, obscene things about you. So you have to be careful. You just really do. And I tell a lot of brothers, I said, man, I know a lot of people saying, but I'll be mad like racists are biased, and I'm not. I'm biased, but I'm not racist. I'm just careful about my brothers, because I've seen too many of them go to jail for the wrong things, because they be fucking with these white girls because it's easy. Just because it's easy on the front end, brothers, don't mean it's easy on the back end. It's hella hard on the back end. I'd much rather go through that hard shit at the beginning, nail down the law with the sister or whoever it is, or the Hispanic woman, and then have smooth sailing from then on out. So, that being said, I'm out y'all later. This was just a quick little hot take. It was 25 fucking minutes of a supposed hot take on someone else's hot take. I'm a fan. I'm gonna subscribe to their show right after this, because he's got some good mojo on that show. So I'll let you guys later. Be easy.